player. Well, I would say a couple players, but this one right here is crucial and very, very important because this would single handedly get the Fever over the hump. Over the hump being that we will potentially automatically become a WNBA contender out the gate. There's nothing they can say, do, or anything that could ruin that. Let me pull up something for you guys because this go hand in hand with what I'm about to show you guys in this free agency. Free agents that came out that we went over on live.
Late night free agency developments dropped onto the internet, and the timing could not be more critical for the Indiana Fever. The franchise is operating within a tight window somewhere between 24 and 72 hours where the decisions being made could either push this team toward championship relevance or drag them back into mediocrity. There has been a shortlist circulating of players widely believed to carry immediate game-changing ability. Among those names, one stands above the rest. One particular addition, if pulled off, would single-handedly shift the Fever from a popular squad into a genuine WNBA title contender right out of the gate.
Free agents that came out that we went over on live. Now, on this list right here is names of players, impactful players. Now, in my live, we discussed players that could come in and we feel like could make an immediate change. One of these names to stand out is Monique Billings. What if I was to tell you that Amber Cox went out of her way to contact Monique Billings tonight? Yes, because news is all over the frickin'.
No debate, no asterisks. That name is Monique Billings. According to reports spreading rapidly across the internet, Fever GM Amber Cox personally reached out to Billings. The two sides have already entered into discussions. If this deal gets done, the Fever front office deserves serious credit and there would be very little room left to criticize the direction of the roster.
Monique Billings tonight. Yes, because news is all over the freaking internet that Amber Cox and the Indiana Fever has contacted Monique Billings, and they have been in talks with her. Now, if this do come to fruition, I am all in for the Indiana Fever front office. I ain't lying. If they sign Monique Billings and Elena Smith, I have nothing negative to say for the rest of the season. I can promise you that. Shout out to Roberta. Roberta has been working over.
Here is what makes this story even bigger. Billings sat down for a meeting with the New York Liberty. She heard them out. But according to sources close to the situation, the expectation is that she signs with Indiana. That shift in direction says everything about where the appeal lies right now across the entire league. No other franchise is generating the kind of buzz, attention, and opportunity that the Fever currently are.
Rest of the season. I can promise you that. Shout out to Roberta. Roberta has been working over freaking drive with getting out news and getting us information. Now, Alexa Philippou been going into and he kind of falling off. But listen to this, guys. It says Monique Billings took a meeting with the New York Liberty, but should sign with the Fever, I'm being told. Now, this is major news because what did I tell y'all earlier? I said when it comes to these players, they're going to do everything in their power.
The fan base is massive, the spotlight is blinding, and players are genuinely drawn toward what is being built there. Proof of that showed up during the playoffs when Odyssey Sims turned in the performance of her career, posting 16 points and 8 assists in one game, exploding for 27 points and 6 assists in another, and maintaining that level across 4 postseason contests with averages of 14 points and 4 assists. That kind of production does not happen in a vacuum. The environment around Caitlin Clark pulls out levels in players that had previously gone unseen.
To these players, they're going to do everything in their power to go where it's popping at. And it's only one damn team popping in the entire WNBA, and nobody is popping harder than the Indiana Fever. I just have to be honest here, guys. When you're looking at the fan base, the notoriety, like we all remember Odyssey Sims breakout during the playoffs. Bald. Looked like.
That is exactly why a player of Billings' caliber choosing the Fever over New York would carry such enormous weight. She averaged 7 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 0.5 assists last season, numbers that look solid on paper but barely scratch what she is actually capable of. Inside a system built around Caitlin Clark's passing and playmaking, those figures would almost certainly climb in a significant way. What the Fever desperately needed heading into this offseason was a reliable, professional forward.
Bald, look like a superstar. This probably the best fans has ever seen Odyssey Sims. You want to know why she balled out like that? I can tell you why she balled out like that. It's because she had an Indiana Fever jersey on. This is the Caitlin Clark effect. This is what the Caitlin Clark effect does for free agency. You can damn near handpick players that you want to get, bro. Because what player would...
Someone who understands positioning, reads the floor properly, and does not get caught off guard when a dart comes flying their way. There were noticeable moments last season where players appeared unprepared for the pace and precision of Clark's decision-making, and those breakdowns turned into turnovers. Billings brings the kind of experience and awareness that eliminates those problems. What is also worth noting here is how this situation unfolded.
Damn near handpick players that you want to get, bro. Because what player would not want to come play for the Indiana Fever? Look at this. Odyssey Sims postseason run with the Indiana Fever. She averaged 16 points one game, 8 assists, 3 steals, and an 87-85 win. Next game, 27 points, 6 assists in game 5 of the semifinals. 17 points, 3 assists, and 18 points. And 2 assists in Indiana semifinals win. She averaged 14 points and 4 assists across the postseason.
The Fever fan base had been pushing for Billings, organically talking about her online, circulating her name as a target, making their preference clear. For years, that kind of fan-driven conversation rarely translated into actual front office action. This time, Amber Cox appears to have been paying close attention. The organization listened, moved fast, and made contact before anyone else locked her down.
Semifinals win. She averaged 14 points and 4 assists across the postseason. Where would you like to see her sign? I can almost promise you, if they bring, and let's say Odyssey Sims don't sign back, y'all think she gonna play like this again? Now, I'm not here to say that she won't, but I'm definitely not here to say that she will. But this right here, this Monique Billings news is hotter than fish grease, because
if the signing is confirmed within the next 24 to 48 hours, it would represent one of the cleaner offseason moves the franchise has made in recent memory. A forward who wants to be there, who fits the system, and who has real upside left in her game arriving in Indianapolis. That combination puts the Fever in a different conversation entirely heading into the new season. Kelsey Mitchell has officially put pen to paper on a 1-year Supermax contract worth $1.4 million. A move that carries significant consequences for the Indiana Fever, both in the immediate term and down the road. The decision itself comes as little shock.
I genuinely do hope that the Fever aren't running the entire team back, because it's not good enough to win a championship. It's good enough to make the playoffs. I don't know if it's good enough to make a top 4 seed in the playoffs. Like, I don't think that the Indiana Fever running it exactly back is better than the are better than the dream. I just don't.
Mitchell has been one of the Fever's most dependable contributors, and the money she secured is hard to argue against. What makes the signing noteworthy, however, is not the contract itself, but what it signals about her future with the franchise. A 1-year deal rather than a multi-year commitment strongly suggests Mitchell will not be suiting up for Indiana beyond this coming season. Had she intended to stay long-term, a lengthier agreement would have been the far more logical route.
Are better than the dream. I just don't. And that's just an opinion. I don't think they're going to be better than the team Liberty are going to put out. I think the team Liberty are going to put out are going to be serious team they're going to put out. And I don't know if they're going to be better than the Aces. I know they brought them to the playoffs, but I think that was a Cinderella run. I think that was a Cinderella run, to be honest. And in all sports, if It's very rare teams run back a
The Fever also cannot move her via trade while this deal is active, meaning she finishes out the year in Indiana regardless of how things unfold. For the Fever as an organization, the situation raises some uncomfortable questions. Running things back with the core three is not a bad outcome on its face. The squad is capable of making the postseason. Realistically, contending for a title or even cracking the top 4 seeds, though, is a harder case to make.
It's very rare teams run back a Cinderella run. Like Leicester running it back in 2017 didn't work. Miami trying to run back Cinderella run in 2023 did not work. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one trying to run back a Cinderella run where you overperform and running it back. And not only that, they're going to have to 180 their play style, the Fever. The Fever are going to have to 180 their play style because the way they played in the playoffs does not work.
The Atlanta Dream appear to be a stronger outfit. The New York Liberty are assembling something formidable. The Las Vegas Aces remain a serious threat. Indiana sits somewhere behind all three.
Work when you add Caitlin Clark to that team. When your entire play style is we're going to be a really tough defensive team, we're going to limit the amount of possessions, and we're going to play isolation basketball with 2 isolation ball handlers going your turn, my turn, and then occasionally dumping it into a back down point guard or back down center. Like, that's how the Fever played in the playoffs. Like, if that's the way the Fever are going to run, if the Fever want to run it back, you go and trade Caitlin.
There is also a stylistic problem that cannot be ignored. The way the Fever operated during their playoff run, heavy on defense, limited possessions, isolation heavy, with 2 ball handlers working independently before occasionally feeding a back down player, does not suit the roster as currently constructed. That style and Caitlin Clark's game are fundamentally incompatible. Clark is not an isolation scorer.
Trade Caitlin. I'm being real. You go and trade Caitlin if you want to run it back like that. Because Caitlin's not an isolation scorer. But yeah, you've now got you have now got, we know the Fever are running back to the big 3. The Lexie Hull news is going to be next. I think there's probably a 60% chance, I'll go 75% chance they keep they keep
a team that wants to play that brand of basketball would need to move on from her entirely to make it work, which is obviously not happening. The Fever will need to completely overhaul their offensive identity if they want to maximize what they actually have. As for where the roster stands beyond Mitchell, the situation around Lexie Hull and Sophie remains uncertain. Natasha Howard appears to be the frontrunner to start at power forward.
They keep Lexie. I think there's probably a 50-50 chance to keep Lexie and Sophie. But my expectation is that Natasha Howard's going to be the power forward. And I'm predicting a 26-win season if they do run it back. I'm going 26-win season. And yeah, like, not a bad season. They'll be good.
A 2-6 win projection feels about right for a team that runs it back without meaningful additions. Serviceable, competitive, but not a serious championship contender. The comparison to what other stars have done in similar situations is worth noting. Erica Wheeler reportedly accepted around $1 million per year on a 3-year deal, intentionally leaving money on the table to give the front office room to build around her. Alicia Gray and Marina Mabrey made comparable sacrifices.
They'll be good. Don't get it twisted, they'll be good. But the Fever were a couple of interesting moves away from doing okay. And to be honest, Kelsey Mitchell's earned every bit of her Supermax. She has. Considering Caitlin's not on a max deal yet, go get the bag. Go get the bag. It's a little bit disappointing to see her take the Supermax rather than take
Mitchell went the opposite direction, taking the absolute maximum she could earn in a single year. That is entirely within her rights, and nobody can dispute that she earned every dollar. The outcome, however, is that the Fever's salary structure takes a hit and the franchise gets nothing in return. No assets, no long-term flexibility, no path through the draft or international market to compensate. The broader concern is that Indiana appears to have spent significant resources positioning themselves as the fourth best team in the league for one season, with no obvious blueprint for what comes next.
What you call it? Rather than take a long-term deal for less money to build a squad like Enrique did. Like, I think Enrique took like a quarter. Like, as far as I'm aware, Enrique is on a million a year. Instead of taking 1.4 million, Enrique took $1 million for 3 years so that they could build a team. Obviously, Kelsey, if she was going to take a multiple-year deal, would have taken a multiple-year supermax, because the Indiana Fever absolutely could have afforded to what you call it. They absolutely could have afforded.
The organization's ability to build through the draft is limited, and there is little visible effort to scout internationally. That combination makes the future murky at best. Mitchell will play this year, help the Fever compete, and then almost certainly walk. The franchise will be left to figure out what comes after, and right now, there is no clear answer to that question.